Hello everyone, I'm Tom. Since this coronavirus disruption started, I've been hosting this vlog to eat beef jerky and connect across the internet. Today I'll eat beef jerky and I'll tell you how it tastes, and that's silly and pointless. I'll also talk about game design with a new topic each episode. Today is the 22nd of June. I'm doing this just before the cable guy is supposed to show up with a brand new cable modem for me. I sure hope he does, because I've been calling them and trying to get it for a month now. So cross fingers. Today I want to talk about this. Ultraman. For most Americans, Ultraman, if they know of it at all, is because way back in the ancient 80s or 70s we saw some early Ultraman shows on our TV. You know, the cheap and poorly dubbed and all that. And then Americans forgot about it mostly because it just didn't show up on TV. Power Rangers showed up on TV for kids of the 90s because some of those Super Sentai shows from Japan, again, got brought over to America and more carefully translated. In fact, they spent a lot more money on those shows than they ever did on any Ultraman shows. But the interesting thing is Ultraman never went anywhere. Not only did Ultraman never go anywhere, but over the last, now what, 50 years, Ultraman as a brand, as a license, as a set of lore, and of course as media, has continued to expand. So much so that Ultraman is, well, first off, it's gigantic in Japan, and there's essentially a new Ultraman with a new television series every single year, and has been for the last almost 50 years. That's certainly one of the things that I think is fascinating about it. Here's this Juggernaut Media in this other country that's essentially missing from American media. I'll readjust my headset here. I shouldn't be readjusting my headset while looking at myself in the display because it's mirrored, so it's all confusing. This is my left hand, this is my right hand, or not. At any rate, Ultraman's just huge in Japan, and it never stopped. But for me and contemporaries of my age, Ultraman was an old 70s, 80s TV show that we never saw again. And for younger people, I don't know that they think Ultraman exists. But again, it's a monumental media juggernaut in Japan. And part of that juggernaut, of course, is that it's a children's show, and like many children's shows, it's fundamentally designed to sell toys and make money. And Ultraman, from the beginning, has had some sort of device or glasses or doohickey that the Ultraman human activates to become Ultraman and fight the monster. They do that every episode. Monster of the Week kind of thing. And for clearly, obviously marketing reasons, that doohickey changes every single show, every single season. And actually, in more recent Ultraman shows, not only has it become more complicated and more detailed and larger and more expensive, but it often changes mid-season. So, you know, Mom, there's a new season of Ultraman, I've got to buy the new doohickey. And then halfway through the season, oh, Mom, I've got to buy the bigger sword that the doohickey fits inside. It's evil and yet somehow admirable. I think it's fascinating. And I've been, looking at that media recently, and it led me to think, sure, it'd be fun to have one of those doohickeys somehow, but obviously, no, I don't really want the cheap doohickeys and this, whatever it is. Maybe I'll just make my own. And maybe I'll just make my own. Seems to be a common theme for me. I certainly made my own Star Trek spaceship complete with lights and sounds. I have my own 3D printer, why can't I? So I guess this is a long-winded way of saying that I'm thinking about making my own Ultraman doohickey and making it myself with my own fork of the Ultraman universe and having fun with it that way. Because yeah, I like the concepts, but I don't like the outrageous and transparent branding and toy manufacturing aspect of it. I'd rather just make my own. So maybe I will. At any rate, if you're at all interested, get on YouTube and type in Ultraman. You'll see, oh my gosh, there's so much Ultraman, including the new season of Ultraman just started. It's called Ultraman Z, but for most of the world, they pronounce it ZDZ instead of the American Z. Yeah, and recent seasons were Ultraman Geed and Ultraman Zero and Ultraman this and Ultraman that. There have been so many Ultramans. There's an Ultraman army out there. At any rate, that's enough about Ultraman. Let's get to the main event, which is beef jerky. And what I have today is a new set of jerky. This is actually pork jerky. It's, Kraft is, I'm now getting my jerky packs from, little indie manufacturers, because that's where we are. I've long ago gone through the really big, expensive brand on every street corner. And this is Big Pork. No, Big Fork. Big Fork. Kraft Pork Jerky Original. Let's give it a try. Of course, I've done a lot of different jerky besides beef on this channel, so pork shouldn't be anything surprising. This is original, so we'll just see how it is. Here's a nice piece. Okay, immediately I can tell it's pork. Definitely salted dried pork. There are some jerkies that we've had on this channel that I thought were mostly just tasted like bacon. This is pork, but it definitely doesn't taste as much like bacon as some of those other jerkies that really tried to taste like bacon. This just tastes like pork jerky. I think it's very interesting. It's distinctively pork, but it's also very distinctively jerky. Not offensive at all, not hot at all, and I don't like hot. Yeah. So I'm always looking at the comments on YouTube and on Facebook. If you want to, you can subscribe and click the little bell button, and that will give you a notification every time I post a new one of these videos. Just in case you wanted to participate in the commenting. My all-time king of commenters commented on the last video, Adam Para. Thank you, Adam. He just says, thanks for bringing to light that bundle. He's talking about the fact that we just finished a 10-episode streak of a brand called Mythical Meats, or Mythic Meats. I forget. And they were selling beef sticks with names like Griffin and Dragon and Unicorn. And then quickly, of course, in the fine print underneath, they were telling me that it wasn't actually Griffin or Unicorn meat. It was more prosaic, but still interesting, like ostrich meat and alligator meat, and of course beef. And if you're at all interested, go back and watch those, because I like those beef sticks. I found them to be good as far as beef sticks go, and with 10 distinctive flavors. But we're done with that. We have passed judgment on the entire 10-pack of Mythic Meats, Adam, and now we're on to a grab bag. I actually have another little kind of 10-pack of a brand with different flavors within it. But I think I'm going to skip around and just go through my odd, unaffiliated jerky bag for a few episodes. Here's something you could comment about, whether you really like to see the connected episode arcs where I go through a particular brand flavor by flavor, or whether you just want to see me yak about game design and beef jerky. Leave a comment and let me know which you prefer. Alright, well, Big Fork pork jerky, original, perfectly good. Tastes like salted dried pork. So, that's it for this episode. I'll see you next time.